Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our November meeting. So good to see so many of you here in person in Farmington. Jean Chrysler and I are going to present our project year in review of all the great projects we've done throughout the year as Master Gardeners. And we received photos from the projects, from the project leads, and we received a few bullet points about what went on with their project. And we're really pleased to have these to share with you. A couple highlights from the year that are outside of projects, but just say hooray about. 2022 brought us 24 interns. And this summer we did have a fun tour of the farm at the Minnesota Arboretum. For those who were able to make it, it was a super hot day, but a great tour. We learned a lot and we ate some good food, and it was a nice time to socialize as well. So let me get started on our projects for the year. Click this. All right, the first project we're going to highlight is the greenhouse team at Hastings Middle School. I haven't visited this site yet, but as I read this slide, I was really impressed with how much work gets started there for many of our ongoing projects for the season. The project leaders at Hastings are Mark Battistini, Ginny Berkopek, and Lisa Hoffman. So thanks for those project leads and the many, many volunteers that help them out as well. But the projects that get the start at this greenhouse are our Master Gardener plant sale, which you know, it's a lot of plants. The plants for St. Joseph's Vegetable Trial Garden in Rosemount, the South St. Paul Vegetable Trial Garden as well, the Inver Hills Community Garden, and the Flower Seed Trial Garden at St. Joe's in Rosemount. All right, speaking of St. Joe's, children's gardens are near and dear to my heart, and I love these projects. Sherry Couch has done an excellent job over the years in leading this project and the many volunteers that help her as well. There's a children's garden at St. Joseph's Church in Rosemount, and it's in the same garden space as the vegetable trials in Rosemount as well. So these kids are from the summer camps and the daycare at the church that summer. And so there's dozens of them that come throughout the season. And Sherry has established curriculum that they use throughout the summer. The kids get involved in planting beans, sunflowers, flowers, and radishes. They were involved in transplanting tomatoes and zucchini this year. They transplanted and harvested beets. And I know, because I helped there one day, that the next week they were going to be sampling some of the vegetables in the garden. They helped sort weeds and they captured and identified bugs. So what I love about these children's gardens, and we have a few of these projects in the county, they're excellent because kids find out where their food comes from, right? And they get to identify and they help care for the plants and get some pride there. And they also learn a lot about pollinators. Right, I'm gonna let Jean take over because she knows this project really well.
This is a flower seed trial garden in Rosemount. I'm the project lead along with my partner in crime, Julie Dean. We took this over a couple of years ago when Pam moved, and we planted 16 varieties of annuals with our team and collected data on the height and width of our plants, the width of the blossoms, the disease resistance of these plants, pest resistance, and then the research that we gather and collect is used by Park Seed Company, and they get to use that to help decide which new varieties they bring to market. And I haven't been there long enough to do it, but some of my colleagues on the project have actually had some of the stuff that they trialed actually now come to market. So that's kind of exciting to have that piece of ownership and really kind of that involvement. And when COVID started, Julie and I went into the greenhouse with under Mark's guidance and planted our seeds. We planted 1,000 seeds that year with a tweezer because they were so tiny. And so the people who work in the greenhouse team have a special place in my heart. I totally appreciate all that they do, and they're pretty amazing. And we couldn't do any of our stuff without them. So, but these are a couple pieces from our garden this summer, and we had a great year with that. The next garden to highlight is the South St. Paul Vegetable Garden, and Janice GESTNER is the project lead for this one. This is I couldn't cut this slide down enough. There's so much going on there. They successfully tested 6 varieties of brandywine tomatoes, Chinese cabbage, eggplants, and cucumbers, okra, daikon radish, dwarf sunflowers, and China asters. I want to go and just have a stir fry outside the garden. They tested 3 varieties of peppers, summer and winter squash, 2 varieties of tomatoes, basil, parsley, coleus from the Pan Am Seed Company. They had 2 in-garden horticulture presentations for local and community gardeners, both on pruning tomatoes and care of them, and the garden soil health. They had many educational points posted through the garden, including information on drip hoses for irrigating their tomatoes, the purpose of straw mulch, and the food value for the 1,000 pounds of vegetables that they grew. So that's pretty amazing. So, I mean, 1,000 pounds of vegetables. And again, their stuff started from the little tiny itsy bitsy seeds back at the garden. So that's pretty cool. Grow and Gather at Inver Hills Community College. This is the first year for this project, isn't it, Pat? Congratulations to Pat Peschman, Janice Stern, Diane Thomas, and Nora Vandenboom. This was a brand new project and pretty exciting for me to see the slides from this. This grew out of a partnership with the faculty lead at the college, and this project has resources on site, an outdoor classroom, and an on-site food shelf, which is really important for kids there at the college. The vegetables grown here were those that were most requested by the Open Door Food Shelf using regenerative agricultural processes, and over 200 pounds of vegetables were donated. So for your first year, that's huge. It's really huge.
A lot of
It's still a lot of work. And they did grow flowers for the pollinators, and 2023 will bring an expanded native planting garden with manicured garden design and education for students and community gardeners. I want to come out and see that one. That looks exciting to me.
Well, most everyone here should know about Let's Get Growing. It's a fabulous day of speakers and delicious lunch and silent auction and those things. So once again, Janice GESTNER did an excellent job leading Let's Get Growing. She has a whole slew of volunteers that help her out with that day. There were vendors there this year, including live plants, and our keynote speaker was Julie Weisenhorn, who presented on landscaping for pollinators. They raised $3,000 from the event, which is huge, especially after 2 years of not having this event, right? It was really nice to have it back again. And we've got to save the date for you. Please save the date for Saturday, February 25th. That's coming up pretty fast. So we'll find out more soon, I'm sure, about how we can register for that event and how we can advertise it within the community and help our organization. Thanks, Janice. Oh, here's a great project as well. Hastings Juvenile Veggie Garden. The project leads for that have been Mary Galvin and MB. This is the first year of the garden, am I correct? Yeah. The garden was planned and laid out together with the Master Gardeners and their team of volunteers, as well as Dakota County Juvenile Program kids and staff. The students there, kids there really enjoyed working in the garden and growing produce. They donated over 250 pounds of produce for local food shelves. So really a good project working with the youth over there. MB and Mary want you to know that this is a fun group. So we'll meet again, of course, in March and talk about the new projects for next year. I'm sure this one will be on the slate, and they are looking for additional Master Gardeners to help them out next year. Mary Ann Giles is in charge of the Speakers Bureau for our Dakota County Master Gardeners, and this organization or this group connects our Master Gardeners with organizations in the community that need speakers on garden topics. Some of the topics that they have planned presentations for are berries, jumping worms, plant propagation, container gardening, and orchids. there's a lot of potential for this project. And for this year, they did raise $300 for our organization by having speakers go out there to the community.
This is one of my favorite projects, Ask a Master Gardener. The project leads are Paul Wood and Roz Witter. This is an opportunity to provide education for gardeners at the farmers market and the state fair. And the really cool thing is you just have to remember, as Paul says, you don't have to have all the answers. You just need to know where to look. And the other cool thing is there are no martyrs at the Ask a Master Gardener. If the weather sucks, you can leave and it's okay. So thank you, Paul. It's really a great opportunity to get out and have fun. And even just, I went to the Bachmans this weekend and hung out with Roz and Jeannie who were there. And it's just fun to watch people come up and interact with the Master Gardeners. And they don't always, have these really deep super needs that you might think they will. It's just fun. It's just if you haven't done it or haven't done it for a while, please do it because it's really cool. So there, Paul, I put my pitch in because I think it's fun. This is an opportunity for the public to learn about Master Gardeners and learn what we are. And I know that one of our new interns coming in went to the plant sale and talked to Robert, and she did indeed interview, and she's going to be with us next year. So thanks, Robert. That was huge. You never know where you'll learn about the Master Gardeners. And one of the cool things too for us as Master Gardeners to go to this event too is we learn things by answering their questions or researching questions. You never know where it's going to take you. And worst case scenario, it's just a lot of fun. I got to do it this year too at the state fair, and it was happy chaos. It was just a really good day, and I do it again in a heartbeat. So it's a great opportunity. So if you haven't done it before, you got to check this one out. The plant sale. This was huge. Marie Stolte and MJ are the project leads. Oh, it's my typo. I'm sorry, MB. You guys are our project leads. Members pitched in and worked together and raised $10,000 to support the Master Gardener projects. And you guys need to just really, really be proud of yourselves because you guys all worked hard and did an amazing job. And it's pretty overwhelming how much you guys did. Houseplants were sold and donations were taken for the Let's Get Growing event, at the Let's Get Growing event. Native plants were grown, perennials were grown, and annuals from the seeds at home and in the hoop house. Contributions of bare roots and gently used tools for sale. And everything came together, and an amazing group of people working together. So thank you for all you guys did for the plant sale. I know it's an ongoing. Special. That was huge. Everybody on that one. It was pretty over the top. It was an amazing project that you guys put together. There's a city partnership committee, a 6-year project with the city of Mendota Heights, and Cindy Johnson and Sue Light co-chair this event, which is pretty amazing. They have a great relationship with the city of Mendota Heights. They organize a buckthorn busting event in the city neighborhood in November, and that just happened this last weekend. They write articles on garden topics for the city's quarterly newsletter. They work with homeowners to plant and maintain the curb rain gutters after construction projects. And they maintain 2 biodiverse native plant gardens and educate the public about communities and the benefits of the rain gardens. Excellent. All right.
Thanks, Jean. Now look, am I on the screen?
You are on the screen.
Good. Dodge Nature Center is an excellent location in West St. Paul if you haven't ever been there. Dodge Nature Center has a teaching garden in it, and Don Feeney has been our leader there as a master gardener and with volunteers. It's an excellent place where summer camps come through and learn about where our food comes from. There's a large variety of crops there. There's other things there, such as livestock, some livestock and all sorts of things for people to do. So our teaching garden is just a portion of the place, but Don has done an excellent job there with his volunteers and keeping that program going for us. Thanks, Don. I was excited to learn more about Grow Burnsville, so I looked it up a little bit today, Paul, because it sounds really interesting. Grow Burnsville is an initiative that the city of Burnsville has going, where they're trying to solve the problem of food insecurity in their own community. And so they're developing community gardens, and our master gardeners, with the leadership of Paul Subast and Nani Heidemann, are helping out at the community garden twice a month. It's if you look on the green sign there, it says first and third Thursday evenings. They're there from 6 to 8. So that's a great opportunity for our master gardener volunteers to get out there and talk to the gardeners themselves and other community members and answer gardening questions. Grow Burnsville initiative provides education. It's at the Crosstown East Community Garden. And some of the accomplishments they've had are establishing a relationship with the city of Burnsville, like I said, twice a month. They offer these Q&A sessions at the garden, and they're helping provide feedback to the city too for next year. So it sounds like a great growing project in growing Burnsville. And I might be interested in that one for next year. Oh, here's a fun one. Habitat for Humanity. It's hard work. It's a long day, but if you've ever taken part in this, I recommend signing up for one sometime. Our project leads for Habitat this year were Helen Bailey, Roz Witter, and Christine Marty. And the project advisor was Harriet Noreen. I did this years ago when I was with Scott County, but the way it worked then was someone is in charge of meeting with the families and landscape options, and then they get supplies from whatever grower has those plants available. And then there's a long day with the teams, and there's volunteers from other organizations meet you there, and some master gardeners are there, and you're working with the family whose house this is now, and you're helping plant the material, the plant landscape materials in the ground, the perennials, trees. In some cases, they might want a small vegetable garden too. And as you can see, we had some three great teams this year at houses, and they do yoga. You can see that as well. Stretching your muscles after a long, hard day, but truly a really fun opportunity. And our projects were completed with Habitat this past September.
The Communications Committee is headed up by Julie Harris and Carol Dunn. They have an amazing number of projects that they're involved in. And the hours that are put into these projects are, I can't even begin to imagine. They work on the Dakota County Master Gardener website, the member newsletter every month, the garden. Ask a Master Gardener. They help develop social media and YouTube videos. So it's a huge number of people doing a lot of work that's really very much appreciated. Then there's the Garden Buzz. Julie Harris and Carol Dunn are in charge of the Garden Buzz, and that's our monthly newsletter. There are over 25 members who contribute to this research-based information that goes out, advertising the Dakota County Master Gardeners, our events, our activities, and circulation is over 2,000. I mean, that's huge. If you think about it, that's a lot of people we're reaching. And a big part of what happened during COVID is was the beginning of the in-home garden projects. The independent projects were intended to assist master gardeners to volunteer in a safe manner during COVID, and also to help continue with our education of the general public. So this is just one picture. There were people who were planting and sharing vegetables with food banks. They were planning and maintaining a pollinator garden. And I got to see Mary Gavin's garden this week. That was kind of fun. And people were also out propagating and distributing plants to those in need. And that was a really kind of a cool way for the state to let people, continue to give back, but yet keep them safe.
Another outstanding children's garden is the Community of Saints School Garden. As Deb and Joe put it, it's the little garden that could. Joe KAPKE and Deb Oldenburg run this garden. And I love that photo with all the kids out there as well. They've expanded this year the garden to over 1,000 square feet, and they've added a pollinator garden, so important because the kids just love that. They've served 25 to 40 summer program kids over 5 sessions. And this year they brought in a master composter, recycler, and this is huge. They grew 400 to 500 pounds of produce for the families and staff in that community. So they're feeding the families in their local community and teaching gardening to young people. And Joe and Deb have done an excellent job, and any other volunteers that were able to help on that project too. So thank you for that.
That's one of my favorite pictures.
It is. That's a really happy one. And then Sam, I don't consider you a project, but you're included in our presentation.
You weren't a project to me either. I just thought I needed to add you.
New wonderful support for our Dakota County Master Gardeners is Sam Talbot, our extension educator. And if you haven't met him, you should go up and say hi. He's in the room tonight. He's been a great addition to our group, and his services are to be shared between us and Dakota County Parks. So thank you, Sam, and welcome. Besides that, we've just got some exciting things coming in the new year. We'll have a new leadership team that we're going to vote on tonight. Half of the leadership team stays on, and half retire, and hopefully not. And the other half are new ones that join in to help in leading all our efforts from more of an administrative point of view. I think we have 27 new interns. Yeah, was that right? Okay. So that's exciting. So we'll have new people to work with on our projects next year. And I hope that everyone can find a new opportunity to take part in next year. That'll be exciting too. But thank you all for all your really hard work over the past year. That's outstanding. We do want to recognize all of our project leads. So if you led a project this year, would you come on up to the front of the room? That would be excellent, so we can recognize you.
My other favorite project or picture, one of MB and Sam out in the prairie.
We should get
Gather
here's
seeds.
the cards.
Can they be in front of the camera?
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, everybody.